So we are on the market in Jingdezhen, and here you can see what is jibo. Jibo is then some bloggers. They just sell the goods from the. So actually they digitalize immediately all the small masters sell here some products, and they just sell it online. So they show to their audience. So there was a competition like this. This guy do pretty interesting to wear, and they can have a kind of resell it online, immediately sell, and after they make a kind of a sticker like here. It's really, it's insane what's happening. We in Jiangxi city. Actually, it's not a very big city. On the way from Jingdezhen to Wuyishan, we're going from one ceramic center to another. And yesterday, just halfway to Wuyishan, we decided to stop. And here is a park in this Jiangxi city. A very small city and a very beautiful park. Actually, the economy in Zhejiang province is pretty developed. So this is why we can say that, yeah, here's everything made pretty well. Even in small cities. Yeah. John Hopkins provide such a good vibes. So actually we arrived to Wuyishan city. It's the capital of Celadon ceramics in China, and I don't was here for a couple of years. So now I need to really visit a few friends and maybe some new friends, of course, yeah, because I was not here for a long time. Yeah, really happy. Zhejiang province, the south of Zhejiang. Wonderful. As usual. What changed in China during few years I was not here? Electric cars, actually everywhere. And here is a charging station, charging parking for electric cars. 10 of those actually, and it's a small village in China. It's like southern, still of course a Zhejiang province, pretty good developed province, but it's the south of Zhejiang and pretty far away, remote area, Wuyishan city, and even it's not a city, it's a village near the city. There's some attraction. Yeah, that's great. And actually electric cars not so present here, mostly it's from on the big cities, but still you can travel and you can charge almost everywhere, especially in developed province. Yeah, this is the capital of Celadon, the big main square. Here's some history, some story about, and the main thing here is Jinci, how it's in Chinese. Celadon ceramics. Here's a tourist center in Chinese, in Korean, and in English. Why in Korean? Because in Korea also Celadon ceramics is very popular, and actually in Korea, if you see, look at a lot of traditional Korean pottery, traditional Korean ceramics, you can see a lot of Celadon there. So this is why Korean tourists especially like to visit this place, Wuyishan. Celadon actually it's an ash glaze, pretty classical one. It's made for centuries, and it looks like this, Jinci. It can be this lighter, bright green, or sometimes a little bit bluish, like this one, or a little bit more bluish, like this one. Yeah, there's actually the boxes with some kind of fired wrongly, like these pieces when the glaze. They distinguish it as a unneeded piece, but actually I distinguish it as a trick. You can paint something here. And here some souvenir shop, a lot of stuff, some huapi, and some other stuff. Some Gaiwan, classical, very classical and typical stuff, which already present for many years on the market. And you see how old these shops. So now actually Wuyishan is not on the trend. It's more underground thing. You think I have this wonderful view from some restaurant or something? Not from restaurant, but from a restroom. I'm out from restroom and see this beautiful waterfall and some trees all around. Yeah, great. How we traditionally choose the food in small places in China. You go to the Pinsantier, actually to kind of fridge, and here's a lot of fresh food. Some fish, meat, vegetables, no cockroaches as you see, some other stuff, and you can just choose it and you see it's fresh and they prepare and take it just for you. This is very typical for China. What I like that here the factory owner have really have taste. So actually here's a factory, you know, from zero circle. They make the clay by themselves and the molds and all vases and stuff, some sculptures, and from here you just immediately enter kind of a museum, which is pretty good designed. There's no light sadly, but yeah, here we can see some very good design and attractive. A lot of old carved wood, some calligraphy. Yeah, well done, really well done. Then they have some objects with mistakes, like here during firing is just cracks or some other small problems. They put it outside, just a decoration. And here the decoration is 18 arhats. Actually it's yeah, one of famous Chinese characters, and actually yeah, it's one of these arhats. It's called Celadon or Iron Arhat. And this Iron Arhat we have a T, which Celadon have a name. Celadon from Wuyishan also have a name, one of these guys. I like this Gundao Bay. It's just fired to the stand. It's my teapot, okay? Our lunch is some bamboo roots, young bamboo, some chinsai, some fresh green, and some fish. Actually, fish is great. It's very spicy, but it's incredibly tasty. One of the small studios in Wuyishan, very typical. This machine for making the cups and lids and some other shapes for Gai wine, for teapots, sometimes even, but teapots are mostly from the mold. No one working here because it's Sunday. Actually not typical for China, they often work all the time, but now is after COVID they don't have too much business here. So this is, yeah, it's pretty small factory, but it's all the thing. They don't process material by themselves, so they bring the clay in sacks and after that work on clay. And here we prepare all the goods, and I think the kiln is somewhere outside, or we bring it to different place. Some broken cups, my favorite places on the factories. Sometimes you can find very interesting pieces. Oh, this one is the best. It can be a teapot or a cup or even Gundao. One more Celadon factory, pretty small one. It's one of owners now working on some details on the lids of the vases and teapots. Here you see there's something they do on the wheel, something they do by the mold. Here's the molds, the drying molds outside, because it's need to be dried after cleaning. And this just come out of the mold. They need to more handwork to finish. Some molds already with ornament, but some ornaments are fully made handmade, like here. It's need to be made by hand. And after glazing and firing, it looks like that. Actually, it's typical carving for Celadon. Also, I like them carve it and glaze it, and then glazed parts combine. Sometimes now this technique pretty spread. There is also some already carved objects. The best Celadon shop in the village, you see, it's a Gunfucha, some Guangdong base and guidelines and teapots. Wow, great. And after that some plates. Okay, it's still Celadon, but after that, look at this great selection of lamps, tape, some, I don't know, equipment. best shop on the planet. If you think that you are a great blogger, you can look here. This is 100 million subscribers. Just a single blogger in China. It's something insane. Right now we can see this beautiful sign, Celadon Town of China, International Intangible Cultural Heritage Center. Yes, and this is the old kilns, which is now, I think, not work already, because now it's all not kilns like before, underground kilns. But still, it's a kind of culture center like in Jingdezhen. This is a center of production. Wuyishan Chang. It's written like Celadon or pottery factory of Lunqian. Yeah, here's some signs. And nothing, no one here. And I love Lunqian. You know what is it? Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. Old factory, and now it's cultural center. I think it's not operating. Interesting that the history of these kilns are not so old. It was built during already communist era, so it's from 50s to 70s. Main kilns was built. So this is actually Chimney Square, which now already like a kind of cultural heritage. And before was a dragon kilns, the same as in Zhejiang, as in Wuyishan also, and the same as in Wuyishan, like everywhere in China, the kilns which built on a hill and used firewood for burning. Yeah, so this is a tunnel kilns. Hard to imagine how polluted was this area when all these chimneys was operating. So now actually the electric kilns are more useful and or some small kilns like this for wood firing. Actually this one just built here and it was never used. I think from this hall the loading of goods goes to inside. Pretty simple actually. There's some ventilation, smoke goes down and up to the chimney. There is a kind of an exhibition hall, but now it's all closed. Maybe before, not yet started. And here's some actually new building. Oh, pretty fresh looking. Also closed. Oh, I like this design. Like the Celadon bricks all around. One of the kilns is open. It's kind of exhibition. Also the rest of also it's a kind of exhibition. Yeah, but here the kind of characters made of broken objects inside. Here it's kind of also studio or I don't know, packaging facilities. Who cares? Looks abandoned. I think still under COVID rebuilding. Here is a wall of all famous artists of this village, and you can see some of those have a term which called Zhejiang Gaodi Mei Shu Shi. It means that the Zhejiang province level master of arts, kind of. For example, my friend in Wuyishan, he have Guodiaji, different province level. He have like a more country level. Yeah, but still, all the village here on the wall. Yeah, all masters mentioned, even those who don't have this Gaoji Guni Maishushi. They all like a masters. Before the modern times and the machinery, they smash the clay material by these big stones. This way. Arrived to the factory of white tea, northern China, northern Fujian actually, northern Fujian, Zhenghe. Here we have a wonderful white peony, which is actually perfect peony. We see how many buds in it. Yeah, so we'll have a great Baimudan tea this year. Yeah, now we're trying the owner, who's very excited to see us after 4 years. We are here to prepare some dinner, traditional, typical village kitchen, and they still prepare all on the wood, because when we prepare on the wood it has a taste, and really, even though they have all the technology here, they still make a wood. Yesterday our French farmers just let us stay in their house. This is my charger station. Yeah, and yeah, that's good because it's too far from hot. Plus it's pretty cozy here. Now we'll try some new tea, and of course, but first breakfast. farmers in the regions, then they producing white tea all the time, keep the third or fourth floor, especially for tea drying. More traditionally, they dry it on bamboo trays like here, but here's just bamboo, young bamboo dried, but mostly they keep it in dark rooms like here. Yeah, it's pretty clean, and they all the time keep it like that, and it smells like wow, absolutely incredible. And most of farmers all around, they also focus on white tea production because it's a capital of white tea production. Yeah, and the aroma, of course, very sweet, very sweet. Here's a few types of sourcing. Some teas come from high mountains, even from wild, abandoned gardens. Some tea is more affordable from plantations all around. So it depends. We will try all. It's now our plan for morning. There's our place. Main food of local people. The bamboo sprout. Jusun. Factory owner prepared for us a lot of fresh and also aged white tea. This is our bai cha. Oh, incredible. We also prepared our pottery set to make a great tryout of the tea. So we'll try new bunches with a new tea ware from Jingdezhen and Anxi. So now we start our tea session. We're trying 5 first types of tea. First 3 here is Chaozhou, and one is aged one. We see it's more darker color, this one. So we're trying the first brew. Regularly I don't drink it, but I just try a little. Making the second infusion of the tea. And actually this one is not very useful teapot. The first show may have a little bit of Chenwei aged taste, actually, very good one. The second one a little bit more like grassy, but still tasty. So we found all of those pretty interesting. I just don't like too much this second one, but I'll try more, give him a chance. Definitely great the fourth. So the last third brew, we tried this one. The owner also brought few aged teas from 2009. I'm very curious how it will be. Yeah, trying the second bunch. Just talked to my friend that we don't need to search for kind of special tastes, benefits if we don't feel it from the first 2-3 infusions, because yeah, it means that the tea at least maybe not perfect enough or something like that. So you'll try more. modern, have some aroma, but still we prefer the other one. So we're trying a 5 bunch of tea, and here we have also some Lao Bai Chai cake. Also we have fresh gourmet, also have by Hao and Jane, and 2 aged ones. Let us try it. 15 teas at one time. It's something essential for today. So, my dear friends, we found great tea today. I'm really proud about some aged one. This is really perfect. And also fresh tea, fresh gourmet. That was incredible. We need to pack. We choose 8 types from 15 types we tried. Yeah, it's something. One of the gardens of low elevation tea fields, and here is around 200 meters above sea level, and we can see that here we have Fuding Da Ye Zhong, means Fuding big leaf variety, and they're now harvesting Ye, 1 leaf 1 bud, or sometimes 2 leaf 1 bud. Flash, a little bit not so sweet as an ancient ancient tree, but still. But here's also there's elevation about 300, like these hills, and also the most top teas on that mountains, more than 1,000 meters. Tea bush is pretty young. It's around 4 years, I think maybe 3 even, but already they can harvest because of drought. Last year they start also do some irrigation between the bushes, and here they grow tobacco. So this is why we need to drink more tea. So the farmers will cut tobacco and grow more tea. Our factory owner, he just invited us to still have some travel around the village, and we decided to follow. Yeah, we just look at some factory. Also, yeah, now we want to visit some nature reserve over here, and also interesting that here is a market for fresh leaf. Zhenghe Di Ye Zhong, the biggest tree which called Jingdezhen. This is one of the most famous trees in Asia, and the biggest one in Asia grow in this forest. So we decided to visit this forest. It's pretty interesting. This is a protection against termites. Yeah, don't let them in. But look, one termite broke it. First time see some kind of man-made protection. The main thing I start thinking about when I see some forest, wild forest, like here, everywhere was like that before, and a lot of old trees. Most of all trees was cut down, and it's very sad, what I want to say. But it's good that now people start to understand it and start kind of caring about all the rest of the trees which still standing. This is a 1,000 years old camphor tree, and there is an interesting tale about this tree, like one in the end of Qin dynasty, because this tree is our history. The one trader tried to harvest oil from it, but it was a thunderstorm after, and he was unsuccessful with that idea. This is why the local people call it the king of camphor tree with God's power. How it was translated, like that means like God's power protects this tree. really huge, almost 3 meters and more than 1,000 old. What I like in China, that yeah, every single thing have a story behind. Yeah, here we see like the story about 7 fairies fall in love with a boy woodcutter, and they have 7 branches on this tree and so on. You can read the story more clear, but it's inspiring. It's great. Actually, I like it. Everything has a story. Here is a beautiful scenery, the view on the tea fields all around, and also there is a camera and also speaker, which often saying that please don't use any cigarettes, don't smoke. Big gardens, and what I like, they try to combine, not everywhere is a tea garden, but also sun, pine trees, some bamboo, some is like wild, some is like also they grow the trees, cut and grow again, also like for harvesting the wood. But this small natural reserve also pretty good that they have it, but yeah, sadly not so much. This is a tree also more than 1,000 years, and they have a tradition that local people who want to like graduate or just finished educational course, they have a kind of frame here, also Taoist. And this is more than 1,000 years old tree, and as they just also create kind of stand from metal to don't let it fall down and protect the tree. This tree, as many trees in this forest, have a legend also. Yeah, like a student Zhang, who gifted scholar. Yeah, he have a good in calligraphy, and he lost one of his messages, which was prepared for graduation, as understood, and they lost it, and then they found it. They found it in a tree, and after that, the tree became more famous. Even emperor gave the name to the god tree, Zhuangyuan tree. The village not exists already, but the tree still. This is a farmer market for fresh leaf. When we will have our own factory here, we will buy it here. Yeah. Some material pretty good, some not. 3 leaves and 4 leaves also. This is called Zhenghe dabai, and that one called Fuding Da Ye Zhong, the bigger one. And this is more expensive, a few times more expensive fresh leaf. Or lunch, some seafood and some fish and some bamboo sprout and wild grass kind of bread, and all the food just local food, only seafood is not local. Our wonderful friends and our wonderful tea, and we soon go to Wuyishan because we have not so much time today. Now I'm in Wuyishan and finally visiting my very old friend for producing Dahongpao tea, and we already know each other for 12 years, really long time. One of my first suppliers in Wuyishan and in China in general. Yeah, so yeah, this is some mass market oolong tea, and now only in few days start harvesting and processing of fresh oolong, but this time I don't catch this process. I only catched, they just now make final peiho of mass market Dahongpao tea, and also some we need to prepare and clean all the space. Yeah, interesting that they just bought new machinery. This is for weidiao or fermentation also, like this is actually my just now the owner of the factory explained it that because they need to make some heating on this room for fermentation, actually they put it over here, these machines, and before it was just a coal, bamboo or some other, and it has some little bit smell. Literally during the fermentation, the long fermentation of local cliff oolongs, we need to have more clean, no any other smell, of course. Yeah, and because the coal brings some smell, sometimes it's of course affect the tea, but now they switch to this new machine which it's burning oil, so it's kind of oil, new kind of modern oil made originally from the oil. Yeah, but it's very cleaned, prepared for this type of burning, so it have no any smell at all, and the tea have more clean aroma, more like nothing affects the tea, and this is why it's important to change. Yeah, interesting upgrade. They also actually upgraded all these turning big things for fermenting the tea. Actually we call it weidiao, but actually it's also kind of fermentation also inside. It's for many hours. Before I filmed it for many times Wuyishan tea processing, so not this time. Continuing my video diary, I have one night at Wuyishan, and all night was rain. Actually we lived in this hotel called Wuyishan Hotel. Very funny name. And this is a restaurant that I actually eat already 10 years ago, maybe first time. A lot of businesses here are changed. Some like this hotel was bankrupt during COVID or make a renovation. I have no idea. A lot of things changed, only the cliffs, rocks still in. Hope next time we visit, because this time we have very hurry scheduling. So we need to arrive Dehua today for some porcelain things. Now we take some breakfast / lunch and go to the factory to take some samples. I like the menu here. Very useful. The picture, the name, the price. Even if you don't speak Chinese, just and you see a little bit pricey actually, comparing to not tourist places, because Wuyishan is super tourist place. And here we have a lot of local dishes. Actually, this Dahongpao chabin, which means tea, small cake made from Dahongpao oolong leaves. Some also Dahongpao zhuji, it's chicken fried in Dahongpao leaves, and some other dishes. A lot of local tsai, a lot of local mushrooms, because here they grow a lot of mushrooms, some of them wild, some of them just grow especially for food. Yeah, nothing changed so much during the years. Hi everyone from Anxi. Anxi is the capital of Tiguaninti and other Oolongs in southern Fujian, south of Fujian province. Now we're going to visit our friends farmers. With some of them already worked 12 years and more, because this region is pretty familiar, and for us we know what is it. Need a few hours of drive to the remote places and some closer destinations too. Yesterday I was in Dehua, ceramic capital of Fujian. I just took this precious wood-fired cup. I need to work on it a little because it was kind of a, how we call it, Shaohuela. It means that that's during the firing it was broken. Now we go, good weather, and we go for harvesting. I'm in one of my favorite places, south in Fujian. Here you can find a lot of small villages with pretty unsigned buildings, old buildings. And some of them was under reconstruction, so like here some part of the building was fallen down and they assembled it back from the old stones. Here's an old stone building. Also this is a house of passengers, kind of religious meeting for local people. And yeah, and here's just, I think, just a regular house. Some new buildings also nearby. This is more typical earth house. We know, maybe you know about two low earth houses. Before I filmed some video. Sadly it was not in English. Maybe next time or this time I visit and film more. Yeah, but this one is one of good examples of earth houses. Just a regular small, I think, for some pigs. Yeah, this is just a house. Yeah, I like all the carvings and some porcelain figures on it. This was renovated, as you see from this side. Maybe some carvings was destroyed during Cultural Revolution. I heard a lot about that here. But how some of them still in, like these wooden parts, I think they are pretty old, but not very old, maybe like few decades, at least maybe 60 years something. The building itself is very old. And here's one of the most oldest buildings in this village, partially earth building, partially built from the stone, almost destroyed, but still the roof, I think this roof, few hundred years history roof, the same as there. In each village here you can see the new buildings, of course, and people not living in such houses anymore. Very rarely they live, if they still present. I've seen some houses like that in Yunnan, for example, that people live still in old buildings. Also here in more remote villages we can find some old people still living in the buildings like here, but now mostly they're old because the economy grow and they build new houses, but still keep the old houses. Also it's protected by government. Some of them have historical value, of course. And there's thousands of those houses here in Fujian, so almost in each village you can see at least a few of them. Here is local tea production in Anxi. They do Huangjing tea. Actually, this farm they process Mao Cha, semi-product. Another factory do more bigger amounts, and now they prepare it for fermenting, like withered. And this guy just brought the fresh leaves from the plantations. There is pretty high mountain area. It's around 600 meters above sea level. Yes, here we also prepare for fresh leaves. They brought a lot of tea. Trying black tea from Anxi, some Oolong black tea. It's made from Oolong tea trees. A lot of noise, sorry, because it's a factory and it's working hard on new harvest. We're trying a lot of new types of teas. And actually, this factory is organic and certified for European and American market, which is important. We just worked before once, but COVID broke some connection and we get back. That's awesome. We will do some good findings here. Sometimes you became a factory worker. Yeah, this small piece of metal just fall into the kiln and we just take it out. Here in this know-how, how do they ferment tea? They put some towels for heating and cover it with some kind of fabric, and thereafter tea fermenting. Now it's already fermented black tea, red tea, after fermenting they immediately send it for drying. It's a mass production black tea. After that they have kind of cha. Not fully ready yet, but after that we need one more step of heat drying, and after that removing the stems, and tea is ready. Now during the spring season there are not so many tea produced, but then later spring and summer tea, which is more affordable, it's got a big amount of leaves. You see all these rollers, yeah, and also all this withering also used. But now not. Now only downstairs is enough because the amount still not so big. Pretty well automated. Upstairs pretty hot because the dryer machine works on full power. So this is a factory for black tea production, or Hongcha, red tea, how it's called here in China. And here is Oolong, it's Guangdong, and this Guangdong. Here is Weidiao processing, like withering, first withering, and here is already fermentation. You can see. One of my favorite teas, this is Oolong made black tea or red tea. One of the best factories which focused on high quality production and also very clean sourcing. We work a few years with them already. Owner was very happy to see me before many times because we didn't see each other for like almost 4 years, I think. Here is actually also the fermenting. Yeah. We will try also to make some shu pu'er tiguanyi here, because it's still similar type of fermenting like in Manhai, like in other regions of Yunnan, just you need more time. So we will try to do something. Such an aroma here is incredible. Wow. To boost the process of fermentation, they need to add some water on it, just to spray some water. So here it is. few words about China development. What I want to say now, all the fresh and new buildings, all the new hotels and some other infrastructure, even just regular apartment houses, all built in pretty modern style. Like here, it's a hotel, pretty regular hotel. It's not 5-star or something, just a regular hotel. You see the design, made very design style. Actually, the room. Also, sadly, I forgot to film the room because I already checked out. But yeah, it's incredible. All these gardens, all these stones. It's recently made. It was made during COVID, what is important. Let me show you what the child playground here, yeah? Something like that. I just remind you there we are. We are in Fujian province, a pretty remote area. Here's just local some mountain attraction, nothing pretty special. Just regular hotel in a village. It's not a very famous spot or something. It's not Shanghai, not Beijing. It's a small village in Fujian province. This view is incredible. And also that's not all. Here's the entrance group. You see the design. You see the design and how it's all made. Huh? Incredible, yeah? Furnishing. My Chinese waiter told me that where to go for breakfast. For some tourists. What I like most, China back to normal. This is a factory of stone cutting. You want to order some tea trays from the stone. Now we're in Nanjian. Nanjian is one of the counties on the border with Jiangxi province. Now we're still in Fujian. And here is a plantation of Oolong, pretty low, young trees. They wait maybe around 2-3 weeks because it's still pretty high mountain area. So we're not ready for harvest yet. They just done kind of mineral supply. Just some calcium and magnesium, some other mineral natural mixture for feeding of the plantation. But in general, what I like more and more factories, even smaller ones, get European and American certification, some organic certify and so on. Really like it. Often when you walk around plantation, you can see some like, for example, what kind of supply was used, and you can see here that's it's just a mineral nutrition. But the main thing what we do is just to send samples for tests. Our Dutch test lab and some German ones to be sure. Now I especially advised many of our suppliers from past to feeding our European chain and our American customers. Yeah, so I'm sure about our assortment now 100%. This is a typical southern Fujian house. This is like called like a traditional like shape house, and you see all these red characters is old Dazibao from Wenhua de Gemin Shijian. It means the Cultural Revolution time. It's about 60s. So these only the signs is almost 70 years old. I think the house is more than 200. We have some repairments, but people still live inside. Yeah, don't disturb people inside, but yeah, they're still living here. Very, very old place. So he made by hand rolling of old tree, well tree. And here they also try little. This is very small farm. They just pick small amount of leaves. And this is a round-shaped building. It's called Tulo, yeah, it's pretty famous in Fujian area. There are hundreds of those still alive, and still people living inside, which is important. The government helped to protect these buildings. Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. Last time I was here, we also filmed a little bit. Here is the entrance to this round-shaped Tulo house, earth house actually, could be translated. This is not a tourist attraction, like you know, a lot of Tulo is a tourist attraction, which is regular people living. No souvenirs, no bullshit. Yeah, it's a little bit remote area. You need a few hours of drive. Still, people living here now. All I think on a rest, or you know, here restore something. This kind of a kitchen. Inside is a well, and before there is it's like a family and some small minorities like Hakka also use these houses for kind of a shelter. Now all things changed, and yeah, just people just live here. They store something, maybe coal or some rural stuff. Typical rural lifestyle. Bamboo as a firewood, some tea drying there, some bamboo sprouts drying for food. It's actually very tasty. One of my favorite stuff is this bamboo, but I like fresh one. I grow some, I think this is a kind of, maybe not tea, some other plant. Yeah, dry some natural medicine, I think, or some spices, some honey, more roots. What I like here, the natural medicine really helps because, for example, I have some illness, and now I feel much better after some local herb. We asked for some wild tea tree and wild tea from wild trees, and they were not selling because they make for themselves, but we found one lady. She said there is someone who do sell, so we will take a look at farmer. Super old, everything is a few hundred years history. This is a real wild oolong. Oh, smells like it's made by hand. You see this imperfect rolling, but the smell is incredible. Let us try. So good morning from Pinhe. It's a small county with skyscrapers like in Manhattan, I think. Yeah, small county in China, in Fujian province. Now we're going to Guangdong province, to Fenhuan, a very famous place for Dansun Oolongs. So we will try some freshest Dansun. This is great, I think. try some fresh Yashishan tea from my old friends, suppliers. This is a fresh matcha, not yet baked, and this is Yashishan already baked. So this is very tasty one, but if you store it for longer than 2-3 months, it will not work. You need some time. Yeah, so this is why they do this Chaozhou. If not do Chaozhou now, after 2-3 months it will disappear, but now it's super tasty. So if you're doing it fresh, it will be wow. It's a perfect machine for removing stems from matcha, from semi-product. And also they move the big leaf which is not rolled perfectly. Fenhuan region, actually many kilometers around Fenhuan, the same mountains. There's a lot of oolong tea produced. The typical bushes of Dansun tea, many different types. I'm not sure about this one, but at least it's not Yashishan, because Yashishan is bigger leaf. Maybe it's Zhejiang or something like this. Half forest, half tea. Now actually they care more about the forest, and it's not allowed to cut all the hill for any agriculture product, doesn't matter was it tea or something else. So mostly we can see this kind of combination. This is why Dansun called Dansun. It means a long-standing tea tree or a bush. It's almost like a tree, pretty strong. Some of them can be like around 100 years old. And you see from one to another some space. And the older it comes, the more smaller bushes gets cut in between, and slowly it became kind of a tea forest. Sweet. I want to catch the tea pickers. This is called Gaotsun, or long bush. Yeah, and this is this tall bush. Actually, it's sometimes it's Wuyishan, sometimes something else. I'm not sure about this one, but they are waiting for a bigger flash, because for oolong they need to harvest it like that, and this is, for example, is too small. Yeah, so we need to wait some time for harvesting. So we had good experience in harvesting fresh Wuye cultivar, Wuye type. It's called Da Wuye, big black leaf. Tea pickers was very happy to see me helping them a little bit. Great adventure. And the weather is still not super hot, maybe 30 something, but if you spend all day here, of course it's a very hard job. Not a small attraction like for me. Half an hour. Before Xi Jinping times in China was also more spread of corruption and kind of local officials. You can easily get any kind of fake permissions for building construction, or even people just don't care about it. So this is kind of construction which don't have a permission. Officials just forced to destroy it, because I think we don't have kind of local, it's called Zhenghe. It's called, yeah, like when you want to build something, you need to have this paper, official paper, and register it. So now they forcibly remove this construction. It was not allowed. Yeah, looks like the guys who invest in that lose not so small amount of money. Need to also remove all this construction site. The next stage after tea picking is withering, and they put the tea just outside. Regularly near each building here we have a big space that put some net and also some shade, because if sunlight too strong it can affect the leaves, and they prepare it for dithering, and after that they start processing the leaves, which is one of the most complicated processing. Actually, in my book I explained it very detailed, and I have many videos before from this region explaining it more detailed like than now, but I need to learn more all the time. So we arrived to the factory in Fenhuan. In Fenhuan they prepared some Millenial for us, and they just processed this pile for us, and we need to try it on a place with the lady, with our supplier, many years. She waited for us 3.5 years already. Yes, we're very lucky to be here again. I'm in Chaozhou in Fujian, and this is the capital of Oolongs, and now I'm trying a few types of my old friends, suppliers. This time I only visit old friends because two types lightly roasted, two types high fire, and one type very galho, very big, long baking. We are going to high mountain area of Zhenghe. Zhenghe region is in Fujian province on the south. Now we want to visit a farm which produces Zhenghe by Celadon. It's white bud orchard, elegant orchard, and from Zhenghe. And this famous type of local oolong tea, and I already worked with some farmers here before. Some of them I didn't see for 6 years already. So hope they will be lucky, pleased to see me, and me too. So we will continue our relations for many years, not see each other. And yeah, now Zhenghe region actually is the capital of pomelo. You can see all the pomelo trees all around. It's really Zhejiang. It means like the biggest producer of pomelo on the planet. So yeah, we are now going. Need to go 2 hours, maybe more, driving to the mountains from Zhenghe to have a look. We will bring some great tea, and hope today we will make some good findings also of aged tea, because I asked especially one guy to reserve for me. Now we're already a little bit up in the village. Here's elevation 500 meters above sea level, but the tallest mountain in the region is actually Zhenghe region, the tallest mountain, 1,500. Yeah, and here we see some sculptures which is explain hard mothers care about the children. Yeah, so she feeding, washing, and also work washing some clothes, also with carrying the baby. A very typical picture for the rural life. Yeah, and also the mountains here already begin tea harvesting begins, and we just see some people on the other side of the mountain already start cutting. Here all the harvesting done by machine, because it's oolong tea. And this is actually the pomelo. Yeah, pomelo just finished. Oh yeah, there's a flower, actually very good smell. Very good smell of the flower. And in autumn there will be a harvesting of pomelos. And you see here is pomelos and tea and pomelos. Before was only tea, but maybe around, I don't know, maybe more than a decade ago, maybe 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, the tea price was pretty low, and they start growing pomelo here. But now also tea slightly grow, and and they have more tea plantations, even new plantations and some old plantations, but still mostly pomelo over here. Our farmers just finished harvesting of Bayat Silang. You see that yeah, it's all machine harvested. And here you see the flush, it's called Baya, white bud. This is actually Y. You see this white bud. Often Oolongs is like that. They don't have a bud at all, like Tigoni and some other types, but Bayat Silang have. Typical rural landscape here, and yeah, and a lot of old houses also combined with new houses, and each house actually have a kind of small tea production. Like here you can see they have an old roller over there, some dryer. Some of families do like 100 GT or year, maybe even less. They don't have too much material, but some produce tea for sale, of course, and yeah, resell it to local buyers, or it can be very different. You can also like find some bigger factories or smaller factories. It's all need time to search. Sometimes smaller factories have very poor quality, or bigger factories have very good, or other way around. So it's all need to be tested and tried, and yeah, later tested by lab. Complicated thing, but yeah, step by step possible to do. I like this landscape, especially this place. So we're going on the tallest mountain of Zhenghe, 1,500 meters more, 3,000 steps, around 3 kilometers. And we're going to drink some tea there. Here we will reach the destination, I think maybe during an hour or longer, because we need to go higher than 1,100 here, and we need to go 1,500. And what I like especially, it's very cool feeling, because a little bit of wind, and also not so hot like downstairs below in the bottom of the mountain. Here it is, like Gaoshan or high mountain Oolong. Here elevation 1,300 almost. Mostly it's tea trees. Here no pomelo anymore. The tallest mountain of Zhenghe, and here you can see the characters Minnan Di Gaofeng. It means that Minnan, it's an old name of southern Fujian. Di, it means number one. Di Gaofeng, Feng, it's a peak. Gao, it's high peak, so it's a mountain kind of. First peak of Minnan or Zhenghe. Very scenic, very beautiful place. A lot of flowers, some trash, sadly, but not too much. And the main for me, like, imagine people buried all these stone plates from downstairs without any machinery. after they need some cleaning, because it's not a resort and not paint entrance. Some people just come here and leave some trash, as it's sadly present here also. And there you can see Binhe. There's Da Ye. We arrived the biggest and the tallest mountain of Minnan, of Zhenghe. So we now here in a very beautiful place in the company of beautiful Chinese tourists and enjoying the perfect view on Binhe and on other mountains. High mountain plantations in Binhe region. It is one of the most highest plantations because it's just tallest mountain of Zhenghe region here. So you can see that yeah, it's absolutely incredible view, and also a lot of forests. Like on the same mountain here, you can see just a few plots of land occupied by tea bushes, but all the rest is just trees. Yeah, so this is like counted here like one of the top teas of the region, and I hope we will try some already. The biggest amount of trees not yet harvested this year because it's a little bit colder here, but a little bit lower already started. Factory which produced organic oolong in high mountain area of Binhe. Mostly we work for export for Taiwan actually. Yeah, because it's so small. Very good tea they have here. Just tried a few types. Fantastic view from a window. The pomelo all around, but the tea comes from that area. We just get down from there. So my friends, I really finishing this trip. It was almost impossible to travel because I maybe during more than 10 years in China, I maybe for the first time had such a race. We visited 6 provinces in 2 weeks only. Visited all ceramic centers of northern part of China and the southeastern part. Only missed Jiangxi and some in Chaozhou also missed, and also Guangxi missing, but I was in Wuyishan, Jingdezhen, Wuyishan, and also of course a lot of tea production places in Fujian and Zhejiang, Jiangxi, Guangdong provinces. Wow. It was very exciting. It's only possible after you have all these directions and you know all the people around, and you don't need to spend too much time for searching and just go to one point to another and have fantastic driver with you, my good friend Juan. Many years with him already. So what I want to say, it was fantastic. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel, leave some comments below. I appreciate that. Sorry for a bad sound in the video, because yeah, I mostly don't have the time to take a microphone with me, because it's on the way, it's all live, and I don't have cameraman. Sometimes cameraman was my driver. So it is like it is. Peace, love, unity, respect. Xiamen City, one of my pretty often visiting destinations, because we have here a good hub for Zen destinations. Now is a rain, the same rain I arrived to China, and now a big rain when I left in China. This is a district of yeah, some souvenir shops near the sea, and some restaurants, some other stuff.